On today's show,
the trilogy draws near. We're getting close, but is the Warriors and Cavs dominance good or bad for the NBA?
Trey Kirby gives us a story from Media Day live from the finals in Oakland.
And we look at LeBron's reign in the East and 5 teams he's owned over the years.
It's Wednesday, May 31st. The Starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV, or later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tas Melis.
All this desk space, just going to take a nap before game one.
Yeah, we got a lot of room here. Just the two of us here today. Lely is on his way home to Toronto for some personal reasons. We're thinking of you, mate. And TK, Trey Kirby, of course, is in Oakland getting ready for the NBA Finals. We'll talk to the bearded one a little bit later in the show. So, we're at day 66, 67 of no basketball, but we continue
We're almost there.
to get hyped for the NBA Finals. So let's do a little true or false. I've got the questions here, Tas. Hopefully you've got the answers. And we start with that Thursday game, 2017 Finals. So close. The third installment of a trilogy that has featured a memorable split the last 2 seasons, the last 2 finals. These teams are coming in on fire. The Dubs are a perfect 12-0. The Cavs are 12-1 in the playoffs. It looked pretty easy at times, and that has some people a little upset by how easy it's looked. True or false? Warriors-Cavs dominance is actually bad for the NBA.
I can't buy it. I can't get into it. I've listened to it the last 6 days, 66 days. Yeah. I think it's false. This league is about stars. That's what we refer to in this league. When we refer to the past, we refer to Kobe. How many rings did he get? You put him up against Michael Jordan. This league, more than any other major sport in North America, is definitely about star power. And beyond that, these guys play the right way. I mean, these two teams, LeBron and the Warriors, they try and get everyone else involved. So it's not just singular stars, although we have plenty of that. Right. We're watching the best player of his era in LeBron James. How can you not like that? Go up against Curry and Durant, who've had the last 3 MVPs combined. Combine those 3 guys, they've got the last 5 MVPs and 7 of the last 8. This league is about stars. Yes, I think the playoffs have been a little too long. Obviously, there's some recency bias, I think, with the people saying that this isn't good for the league. Yeah, we've had a month and a half of some muck that we've gotten through. Yeah. But we've gotten through it. And maybe we can shorten that part. But in the end, stars who play the right way, this is what we'll be talking about for a long time.
I don't understand why you wouldn't want the two, what are clearly the best teams in the NBA, to meet in the finals, too. In years past, we've had arguments and complaining about, well, those 2 teams in the Western Conference Finals, that should have been the finals. Too bad it's not. And you've also heard times where a team sneaks in there. Like, wait, well, even if you go back, Celtics fans will always say the '86 Celtics was the best team they ever had. And they'll follow that up by saying, oh, I wish we got the Lakers in the finals that year. Because it was one of those strange years the Rockets got through. They upset the Lakers, and we didn't have a Lakers-Celtics finals, which was rare, obviously, at the time. So we always usually want the best teams, and we have it. Mm-hmm. You're right. The playoffs disappointed, and maybe we saw this coming into this season, but we've got it. Yeah. And Lee Jenkins has a great article up on SI today about this very topic and about whether this is good or bad for the NBA. And a couple things jumped out at me. One, the NBA is not suffering right now. I mean, they set an attendance record for the 3rd year in a row. Their social media imprint is, the best in all the professional leagues. Their playoff television ratings are still up despite all the blowouts. I think they're going to get even better for the finals.
They're definitely going to get better.
So, I mean, you look at all that, that's good news. Right. It can be maybe tedious at times, and it feels like it's a foregone conclusion maybe at the start of the season, but it is good because throughout the NBA's history, dynasties, they work. Mm-hmm. People like to see whether they win again or sometimes whether those teams, those dynasties will fail. So I think it's good.
And we're watching the best player of his era again in LeBron against the best team, of the last few years. It's a perfect combination. We got 7 All-Stars in the finals. That's the first time that's happened since 1983. It's been a very long time. This league is about star power. But again, I don't like just talking about star power because I want the game to be played the right way. Right. And we're getting a lot of that with both of these teams.
I think the dominance tag applied to these 2 teams is maybe a little overblown too. When you actually look at the playoffs, I know the Warriors are undefeated and the Cavs are 12-1. Record's unbelievable. But actually, dig a little deeper. Both these teams have gotten a little lucky when it's come to injuries, right? Against the teams they're playing.
I don't know if I buy that.
Hold on. In the West, the Warriors, Nurkic, who joined the Blazers, and I'm not saying any of these guys playing outside of maybe Kawhi Leonard would have shifted the series to the Warriors losing, but Nurkic isn't there for 3 of the 4 games. George Hill, who I know is not a star by any means, but was an instrumental part of the Jazz success, he's not there for 3 of the 4 games. Kawhi Leonard goes down in game 1. That one's huge.
Yeah, that one's a big one. But the Cavs didn't care about getting the 1 seed because they knew they were going to run through the Eastern Conference.
Fair, but they sure didn't run over the Pacers in 4 games. Those were very,
still 4 games.
very close games. And then Kyle Lowry and Isaiah Thomas in the Raptors and Celtics series. I mean, those are all-star point guards that are out. My point is, these teams are not 12-0 and 12-1 if all those injuries don't happen. I don't think they are. And then I think we're looking at this a little bit differently.
Sure,
Right?
I guess that's possible, but at the beginning of the season, we knew this was going to happen. Injuries
You're right.
or not.
You're right.
And injuries always happen every single playoff year, and I just hate bringing it up because the Warriors won in 2015, and maybe they didn't face the toughest teams, and due to injury.
Right.
And so that was a big part of it, and I hate doing that because you just take away from what these guys accomplished.
But are people more upset that we're getting the Warriors Cavs for a 3rd straight year in the finals, or are they more upset with this playoffs and these two teams being a combined 24-1? Exactly.
It's recency bias. Five years from now, when we talk about this, whether it's a trilogy or whether it's 4 or 5 or 6, people will be pumped about it. That's what we do. We refer to prior eras regarding the stars. Yeah. It's always about the stars. We've got them. We've got a lot of them.
Pretty pumped. Can't wait for them to actually play basketball.
Yeah, all right, that'd be fun.
Keep going here. The Warriors, they have won 3 straight Western Conference titles, and ABC broadcaster Jeff Van Gundy believes that number could climb much, much higher. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday, Van Gundy said, quote, "The talent that they've been able to amass, it puts them in position where this is a dynasty to me. They have their youth, their health. I see nothing preventing them from going to 8 or 10 straight finals. It will be a massive upset if they're not there each and every year."
8 or 10.
So true or false? The notorious JVG is right here. Warriors can make 8 to 10 straight finals. Is this in play?
I got to bet against JVG.
Yeah.
But, so basically what he's saying, they made 3 straight finals. To get to 8 to 10, they'd have to make another 5 to 7. Is that crazy? It's crazy because of what we just talked about.
Yeah, it is.
Injuries.
Yeah.
It's got to happen. Is Kawhi Leonard not going to get to a finals in the next 5 to 7 years? I find that a little bit bonkers.
Right.
That being said, these 2 guys that we're seeing right now, they're 34, Steph Curry is, and KD would be 30. I'm sorry, he's not 34. Steph would be 34 and KD would be 33 if they made it to 8 straight finals at the end of it all. Is that crazy? And then Dre and Clay are younger than that. They'd only be in their early 30s.
Will all 4 of those guys be there in 5 years, though?
Yeah, well,
I mean, because
why do you think that's crazy?
Well, I just think you go back again. You look at the Heat when they were the Heatles, and you just thought, well, I mean, they even came out and said not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, and by 2014 they're already broken up. And you same thing with the Shaq and the Lakers, and you think, the 2000 Lakers, you're like, suddenly Shaq is over on the Miami Heat. Like,
wow. I know it happens.
It just doesn't stick together, especially in today's game.
But those 2 feuds, Shaq and Kobe, just never got along. And LeBron was playing with Wade, who was older. LeBron made a decision. I'm going younger, You don't
think guys, though, get tired of playing with each
other? It's possible.
I mean,
it's quite possible. But this Warriors team, they seem to bond really well. And again, I don't know if I would say more likely than not, injuries would prevent them rather than them not liking each other. They signed up for this. KD signed up for this.
All right, final one here. The Vegas sports books, they heavily, heavily have the Cavs as underdogs heading into this finals. But Kevin Love, he's not buying it, people. Here he is.
The whole underdog thing is funny to me because, at the end of the day, we are defending our title. We will use it as fuel. We will use it as motivation, but as far as the idea of playing into it, it's tough for me to say that is the case. I mean, I don't feel like we're underdogs. I think we match up well with them, and I think they say the same about us.
All right, so final true or false. Kevin Love has a point. The Cavs, they shouldn't be underdogs heading in here.
I get what K-Love is saying, but they're still the underdogs. Compared to last year, sure, the Cavs won it, but the Warriors added an MVP. The last 25 finals, the home team has won 17 of those series. They're 17-8. It happens. And the Warriors kicked the Cavs' butt during the regular season in terms of number of wins. So they have to be the favorite. The home court matters a lot. So they are the favorite. They're the favorite to win.
But you have even said the Cavs, and it sounds like Love's even sort of doing it.
That's true.
They use it as fuel. This is why would they almost want to be favorites heading into this series? They were written off the first 2 years prior, and they came away with a championship in one of them.
Yeah.
Why not try and repeat that and go, especially starting on the road, where LeBron always finds a way to win a road game in every series he's played, for the most part. I mean, why not? It makes sense, and I agree with you. I think I get why I love saying this, because you want to say this. Hey, we're the champs. You got to come take it from us. But they still are the underdogs.
Yeah, and I think they want to be. You're right.
Yeah.
They want to be Believe Land. They want to have their backs against the wall. That's when they perform their best, as we've seen in the past.
Let's hear from you guys on Twitter, #TheStarters, where you fall with all of those true or false questions. We're going to take a break, but when we return, Trey Kirby joins us live from the finals outside the Oracle.
It's like he's in Full House.
Looking cool, man. Back with the starters, joining us live from outside the Oracle in Oakland. It is the bearded one, it's Trey Kirby.
Ayo!
Hey-o! We're on a slight delay, but we'll make it work. TK, first things first, buddy. I want to know, did you watch Mrs. Doubtfire on the flight out to Oakland?
I got some bad Mrs. Doubtfire news. I was watching your guys' Twitter show when I was on the airplane. Thanks to some delays, you challenged me to try and throw on Mrs. Doubtfire. I thought it'd be easy, because Lee's always telling us how it's such a classic comedy, but I went to search for Mrs. Doubtfire. Bad news, guys. No Mrs. Doubtfire. I had to settle for the Zac Efron double feature. Neighbors 2, followed by Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I'm all Efron'd out at this point.
Okay, good stuff. Also, before we get into the basketball, how is your diet holding up? Because I know you've started the Whole30 diet plan, but then you also have a rule where anything goes in an airport. So which one is winning out?
Yeah, that's one of my classic life mottos. Anything goes at an airport. There's no calories there, but true love conquers all. My wife has me on this Whole30 diet, so I stuck to it. I bought fruit and water at the airport for the very first time ever. When I landed here in San Francisco, the first thing I did, rather than going to one of their delicious restaurants with all kinds of food, was go to a Whole Foods and buy healthy snacks, including Lee Ellis-style dried fruit leather and the baby food pouches that my daughter literally eats. I'm even throwing away the bread and cheese on my breakfast sandwiches, guys. Unfortunately, the game has changed. This might be the third time we're seeing the same finals, but it's a different Trey Kirby.
Oh, man.
You must be rich. That stuff that was on top of that cabinet, those looked expensive.
He's writing it off for sure. All right, well, Trey, let's get to Media Day availability.
Shout out to Purdue!
Yeah, exactly. What was the biggest takeaway from Media Day today? You were there. What was the vibe like?
Well, the biggest takeaway to me is that both teams seem like they're used to going to the finals 3 straight times. The Warriors were just being the Warriors. They're known for blasting music during their workouts, during their practices, and that's exactly what they were doing. They were downplaying the 3-match aspect of everything, saying that they would be motivated to win the championship this year no matter who they played. It doesn't matter that they lost with that famous Cavs comeback last year. They want to beat and be the champion no matter who is playing, no matter if they're playing for the Cavs 100 straight times or if this is the very first time, which I believe, as for the Cavs, very businesslike, very focused. They don't have music going on, but they do have Kyrie Irving yelling, "We know why we're here." You know, they are very focused. They are well aware of what it takes to be an NBA champion at this point. It just feels like a reunion, really. We're seeing the same teams, the same media people. It's a different sort of environment because everybody knows what's on the table and everybody knows the historical significance about it while trying to kind of ignore the historical significance about it.
Right. Same teams, same players, same locations, different Trey Kirby diet. That's the one thing that's a little bit different here. But TK, have you had a chance to go one-on-one with any of the guys? I know you haven't been there all that long, but have you had a chance to get that starters exclusive with TK?
Well, I did challenge a number of players to one-on-one, but nobody would take me up on it. That being said, I did sit down to talk with Tristan Thompson one-on-one, and as it turns out, he has some strict requirements when it comes to eating. You don't like to reheat food, but you also don't like cold food. So it leaves me wondering, what's that perfect food temperature for you?
Freshly made. Once it sits up for about an hour, me and that food is no longer going to be friends. No leftovers and no cold sandwiches. I hate cold sandwiches.
Cold sandwiches, that seems like they're around everywhere, though.
Well, I'm not consuming.
Not for you.
Not for me. Not for me.
All right, we'll see that entire interview, you down with Tristan Thompson on tomorrow's show. But finally, on yesterday's show, we put up our finals predictions. Tass and I had the Warriors in 6. We had Lee with the Warriors in 7. You were the lone guy here on the starters with the swords. You had Cavs in 6. We're seeing the board. It is official, Trace. Quickly, what's your reasoning for the Cavs in 6?
To be honest with you, this is a total heart pick. My brain definitely says the Warriors just like everybody else, but I look at what LeBron is doing. I think he still has another level despite the fact he's been incredible this playoffs. And it comes down to me I wouldn't bet against Michael Jordan in his prime, so I'm not going to do it with LeBron. I don't know if they're totally on the same level, but right now it definitely feels like it. So this is a LeBron-centric pick for me to take Cavs in 6.
There it is. Trey Kirby joining us live from Oakland. TK, enjoy the leather fruit that you have and all the nuts that you can eat, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night after the jump. We'll count down the top 5 Eastern Conference teams LeBron has absolutely destroyed.
The Starters on NBA TV is brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, proud partner of the NBA. Do your friends proud. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back to the show. Now, LeBron James has long been the gatekeeper for Eastern Conference teams trying to get to the finals. He's in his 7th straight finals and 8th total for his career. So that got us thinking.
Crazy.
What are the best Eastern Conference teams that LeBron has denied? He's said, no finals for you. You know what that means. Top 5. Top 5 teams that haven't made the finals because of the King, starting at number 5. The old Washington Wizards. LeBron's Cavs beat them in 3 straight years, 06 to 08. But Brendan Haywood made his presence felt on the King, the young King, several times, sending him to the floor. He had his own rules for LeBron. Whether it was midcourt, whether it was under the rim, Brendan Haywood met LeBron several times. And that animosity spilled into post-game interviews, not just on the floor.
He's trying to hurt me. I mean, come on, man. This is the playoffs, man. He wears 23. He wants to be Michael Jordan. I can respect that. He's a great player. You saw what Mike went through. Mike got fouled way worse than this. You know what I'm saying? No one's trying to hurt him. Everybody's trying to play basketball, trying to play tough. Play basketball, leave it alone. Trying to hurt me.
At number 4, this one hurts as a Raptors fan, but King James definitely had his way with the Dinosaurs in the 2016 Eastern Finals. LeBron shot 62% as the Cavs beat the Raps in 6. And then this season, 2017, the Cavs did the retooled Raptors dirty again. They swept them in the second round. LeBron, fake sipping beer, had 36 points, 8 boards, and 5 assists, what he averaged in the series. Average margin of victory was 15 points. And again, this was a team in the Raps that went and got Ibaka, went and got Tucker, and LeBron just laughed it up.
Laughing it up.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. At number 3, the Hawks won 60 games in 2015. They had home court advantage, but were quickly swept, despite no Kevin Love in the lineup. But not before a little controversy. Game 2, the is Dellavedova dirty debate. That was born when he took out Kyle Korver here, diving for a loose ball. Korver was out for games 3 and games 4 of the series, and then game 3, Al Horford got a little revenge, going down on Matthew Dellavedova with that elbow. No suspension for Big Al.
Wow.
But a sweep job then, and a sweep job the next season as well.
At number 2 on LeBron's East kill list, it's the Chicago Bulls, who have fallen in 4 different playoffs to King James. He was especially devastating in beating the number 1 seeded Bulls in the 2011 Conference Finals, and he beat him again in 2013 with the Heat, and then again in 2015 when he was back with the Cavs.
It looked good for a second.
Yeah, Derrick Rose had a huge game winner in Game 3 of those 2015 series against LeBron's Cavs, but Game 4, LeBron, baseline, buzzer beater.
Down 2-1.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Yeah, that was huge. What would have happened had he missed that shot? But he hits it, and again, 4 times taking down the Bulls. 10-11, 13-15.
That was the David Blatt huddle. I'm taking that shot.
Give me it.
At number 1, it's the Pacers. Heck of a rivalry. 3 straight years, 12, 13, 14. It looked bleak for Miami in 2012. The Heat lost Chris Bosh for the series in Game 1, but with Bosh down, Heat discovered what would win them 2 straight championships. Small ball. They went on to win their first title. Bosh was out, and it was a bit of a blessing in disguise for Miami. In 2013, 7-game series, LeBron versus Paul George. This was great. Paul George sent Game 1 to OT. LeBron, well, he matched it with a game winner.
Oh, that game was so good.
It was great. It seemed like these two would be battling for years to come in the Eastern Conference, but this series just got better. That was Game 1. Game 2, This was a ridiculous throwdown by Paul George on Birdman.
Oh, Birdman.
That was a great memory. It looked like the Pacers were going to steal one there, but LeBron came back seconds later in PG's eye, and they're going to the bench. This is the end of the third quarter, but before we go, hey, daps for that dunk, because that was a heck of a dunk. Heat won that one in 7. 2014, again, 3 straight years. This was the Lance series. That's touching LeBron, blowing in his ear.
Yeah, still weird.
Yeah, still weird. Very, very weird, especially in slow-mo. But those are the top 5 teams. LeBron denied entry into the NBA Finals.
Crazy stuff. All right, one more break. When we return, we'll get you all set for what's on the network tonight. So don't go anywhere. You're watching The Starters, presented by Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey. One more sleep. One more sleep. Everybody, one more sleep. I can't hear you.
One more sleep.
Oh, we're getting so close to the start of the 2017 NBA Finals. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on ABC, Game 1. There's the entire schedule. Hopefully we get all 7 games. Coming up immediately following the starters here, it's the Finals trilogy, Cavs and Warriors. This is a look back at the last 2 finals between the Cavs and Warriors, so that'll get you all set for Game 1 tomorrow night. And later tonight, new episode of Open Court on the network. This one has the guys tackling the best teams to never win a title. Here's a clip.
Would y'all have beat the Pacers or would y'all have beat the Knicks?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have moved to center. We would have definitely beat the Knicks. We beat the Knicks at my time in Washington when I had a hurt shoulder. We were not scared of the Knicks.
Beat us when?
We were not scared of
in a game?
We were not scared
Everybody
of the
get beaten again.
The Knicks were really good, but we didn't play against y'all, so we shouldn't get in this
No,
argument.
no,
What I was
saying
saying is Indiana wasn't that good.
Not the
I love your
2000.
analytic skills, but to go back in time and say they were that good when they didn't make the finals in the 90s, then to go back and say they was that good in 2000 because Jay and Reggie did work. I think they were the first players to have 40 in there, but there's a big man. Rick Smith couldn't get out. We killed him on the pick and roll. Dell Davis couldn't shoot. We fouled him. And like the Davis boys, lunch me. So that's all I can say.
Again, Open Court tonight on the network. That looks like must-watch TV.
C-Web had that look in his eyes.
C-Web,
I wouldn't want to get him mad.
C-Web
calling
out
like he was on the court.
Antonio and Dale Davis, the Davis bros there. So that, again, must-watch. And the trilogy show coming up right after the starters. Again, a look back at the 2015-16 NBA Finals to get us all set for one more sleep.
We're close.
Game 1 tomorrow night. Oh.
All right, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, let's just do it again. One more sleep.
One more sleep.
One more sleep.
Brace
One more sleep.